In this video, suppose that f of x and g of x and their derivatives have the following values at x equals -2 and x equals -1, shown in this table. Evaluate the first derivative of each of the following combinations of f of x and g of x at the given value of x. So we are going to start by noticing, oops, there's a typo. This should say f of g of x. So we're going to notice that there's an inside function g. So I'm going to start by making that my u and taking its derivative. So the derivative of u prime equals g prime of x. Then we're going to rewrite the h of x as f of u. I'm going to go ahead and take that derivative. So h prime of x equals f prime of u, and then multiplied by the inside function, which is f prime of, or g prime of x. And then we're going to take and substitute the u back in. So the u is g of x. And then we're going to go ahead and plug in the value that they asked for. So I'm going to move my work up over here. So we've got h prime of 1 equals f prime of g of 1 times g prime of 1. So g of 1 is just a y value. So I'm looking for g of 1, which is -2. And then g prime of 1 is 3. Then we're going to find f prime of -2, which is 6. Multiply that by 3, and we get 18. Now let's look at this going the other direction a little bit. So I still have an inside function f. It's a different inside function, so I'm going to call that the u equals f of x. U prime equals f prime of x. Then we're going to go ahead and rewrite my m of x function, which equals g of, substitute in the u, take its derivative, which would be g prime of u, and then times the inside function, which is f prime of x. We're going to substitute our u back in. So the u I'm substituting back in is f of x. Then we're going to go ahead and plug in our -2. So m prime of -2 equals g prime of f of -2 times f prime of -2. Well, f of -2 is 1. And then f prime of -2 is 6. Then g prime of 1, so g prime of 1 is 3. So we've got 3 times 6, which equals 18, and it's a coincidence that our values came out to be the same.